What's up, everybody? It's Josh with FL Gardening, and today we're going to set up this little vevor greenhouse. It's only like $70 off of Home Depot. It is 6.5 by 6.5 feet. I think it's 9 feet tall, but it's pretty cheap. We'll set it up. I was gonna maybe level the yard out because our backyard is on like a negative slope. But it seems like a lot of work, so I think what I'm actually going to do is just lay down this weed barrier in the square that it's going to be in. And instead of leveling the whole thing out, I'm just going to level out the tables that I put in there so that water flows evenly through them. But yeah, we'll take a look. We'll set this thing up. We'll see how cheap it actually feels. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. You going to help? You going to help? Okay, step one, laying these pieces out. A 3, a 4, and a 4. The bags were actually labeled, which is nice. So I've got a 3, a 4, and a 4. And this part is 2. But it says I need to use screw 13 to attach them. And I don't see where the bags are labeled. I got a bunch of different bags of screws. So look here, 13. So we have 8 of them. I don't know. This might be too long. Maybe this isn't the one. Maybe it is. The first one I tried was not long enough. Looks like 13s are the longest of them, so 55 millimeters, I suppose. Okay, so yeah, those are the longest, and yeah, I used the right ones. Okay. Well, I can see how this is going to be a little bit confusing. Hopefully, I don't get these screws all mixed up, but we got our first part attached. Let's go down the line. Okay, so I realized I've already made a mistake. I'm having a hard time following these directions for some reason. So I was wondering what that little bendy part was. And that happens to be pole number 5, has a little bendy part. And I think that this is how it goes. I'm trying to follow the pictures as closely as possible, where pole is on the outside, and a little bendy piece, number 5, is sandwiched in between. So I think that that's how it's supposed to be. But then if I look at the next one, which is B, here, it looks like the stuff should be also on the outside, which I think I've got that one correct, which that connects 7 and 8 and a 2 to post 3 and 4. But then it looks like for C, is that on the inside or is that on the outside? I feel like they should all be the same. The picture makes me think it's on the inside though, but I'm going to attach it to the outside because I feel like they should all be the same, right? They should all be on the outside. Well, let's keep going and see if that is correct or not. Okay, we got the frame built. Wasn't that bad. Once you did the one side, the other side made a lot more sense. But still, those screws not being labeled were kind of a pain in the ass. Because they're just slightly different. A couple millimeters difference makes a big deal for some of them. So I used the wrong screws for a couple of them and had to go back in and take them out and replace them with the right ones. But overall, not too bad. This part probably took an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to get the frame built. The instructions recommend digging about a 7-inch trench where the actual greenhouse will sit, and then filling that trench, putting the greenhouse in that trench, and then refilling that with the dirt you just dug to make it a little bit more stable. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. I'll use this trenching shovel, just kind of dig around the edges here and lay it in. So that part's not going to be that much fun. Yeah, who likes digging? Not me. So I'm going to get that done, and then we'll see about attaching the actual fabric to it. All right. All right. Got the trench dug, and the bottom's buried. Wasn't that bad. I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. Some of the corners, not the best. Could still see a little bit of that. A little bit of that one. It is okay. I'm going to get the tamper, probably tamp all these down. Then I'll probably lay the weed barrier down. But I think that is a tomorrow job. It's 4 o'clock. There's a football game I want to watch, so I'm going to watch that, and then I'll come back and finish this up tomorrow after work. Cool. Okay, we're back. This is where we're at with the little shade house, the little vevor shade house. I laid down weed barrier, and I did bury the frame. And I'm already kind of regretting my decision not to level this out. It's going to be a lot of extra work, but that's definitely the right way to do it. Because we've got all these divots in here. That will be a little bit difficult to level out the table. I'm pretty sure I could still do it. But I bet that's going to tear up this weed barrier a lot faster. I also noticed another mistake I made while making it. And the directions say to bury the bottom layer of this with the frame. For extra stability, all helps to keep in place. I didn't do that. And I'm not going to do it. It's already buried. So we'll see how it does. Maybe I'll use some extra yard staples to hold it down. But we'll see. That's why I'm making this video. Show some mistakes, some ways that people will mess it up like me, and then show the results. So cool. Let's figure out a way to get this on here. Okay, I got it on. Yeah, this is really going to be super floppy down here. There are things to tie. Where'd they go? So there's a bunch of these ties on here, so you could tie it to the pole. There'd be one down here, but there's not. That would be real nice if you could put one right there. I guess that's why they want you to bury it. There's only a couple of these ties, though. We'll see. Yeah, there's only 4. Oh, there's one on that bottom one right there. Wonder why there's not one over there. Yeah, there's one here. Oh, yeah, there's one there. Wonder why that corner doesn't have one. I don't know. It's significantly cooler out here. I think that plastic's going to be too hot. I might end up just swapping that out with some shade cloth anyways, so we'll see. Let's get it tied up, and yeah, that'll almost be it. Just got to put some straps across the top here they give you to help keep it down as well. Well, I could tell just by tying those ties in there, that's going to be way too hot. It's significantly warmer in here. And it makes sense. This is a freaking greenhouse kit. So this plastic is really retaining the heat. I don't have a thermometer in here, but I would guess 5 to 10 degrees warmer in here. And I don't think that's going to help out with growing cool season veggies like we've got right now. We've got a bunch of little broccolis and lettuces kind of started. So I think instead of just finishing this, I'm going to go ahead and try to throw on the shade cloth that I've got. Just seems like the right thing to do right now. For us here in Florida, it gets real hot. We don't necessarily need a greenhouse, but it's pretty warm in there. So this shade cloth, I forget the size. I think it's a 10 by 20. It's probably not going to fit perfectly on here. So I don't know how I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to figure that out, but I'm going to do it. And also, I thought that back wall opened. I thought that's what the picture made it look like online. I could be wrong, but if that back wall opened, this would be maybe not too bad. It'd allow for better airflow. But anyways, back to the shade cloth. Let me figure out how I'm going to do this. Okay, this is what I ended up doing instead. Putting this shade cloth around here. This is more of what I was looking for. So I think the shade cloth was 10 by 20, and this is a 7 by 7, essentially, I think. 6.5 or something. But on this end, I just attached them with zip ties. I don't know if this is going to work or not. So we will see. To make sure nice and tight. So this end is a little sketchy, but on the parts where it actually, where I didn't have to cut it, it's nice. I got these little eyelets here, and I think that's going to hold really nice. I'm just worried about that one end. But I just used zip ties pretty much all the way around. Like I said, I think those ones are going to be good. I'm just worried about that front. But eventually, what I'm going to do next is get some cinder blocks and build little tables here and here. Depending on how wide, I'm going to have to do some measuring. Make sure I give myself enough space in between the rows. If I could get one here, that would be nice. If I gotta have 3 kind of skinny tables going through here and give myself enough room to walk. I don't know though. It might be a little bit tight. Might just get 2 tables, one here and one here. But either way, it's way more space than what I've got now. And eventually I might put the little greenhouse cover back on. Maybe towards the beginning of the year when we're trying to grow tomatoes or peppers, and there might still be a little cold snap that comes through. That'll probably be really helpful for that. So I'm definitely going to save it. But for now, I'm going to roll with this. What do we think? I'm going to take over-under bets. How long is this going to last? Is it going to last a year? 2 seasons? What do you think? All right, well, I hope this was helpful if you're thinking about buying the vevor little greenhouses. Again, I'm specifically in Florida. That thing probably would have been pretty decent for if you actually deal with cooler weather. It's not bad. I think it's only like $70. So it's pretty cheap for what you actually get. But yeah, I don't know. Follow along if you want to see how this thing holds up. But for now, I think that's it. Hope this was helpful. Have a good day. Thanks.